Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to preview the HBO, I think it's World Championship Boxing. It's either that or Boxing After Dark. Either way, it's going to be on HBO, and we're going to watch it. But we got Brian Jennings versus Mike Perez in a heavyweight eliminator. And then you got Gennady Triple G Golovkin facing Daniel Geale for Golovkin's belts. Now we're going to start with the heavyweight fight, which is actually a pretty intriguing one. Should be a good fight between Mike Perez and Brian Jennings. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, so I have to double check, but this might be, I don't think it's an eliminator, but it should lead to an eliminator as far as title chances go. But this is a very intriguing fight because we have Brian Jennings, who is one of the U.S. heavyweight title hopefuls to bring the heavyweight title back to the U.S. versus Mike Perez, who is from Cuba, but I think he's fighting out of
Ireland.
Ireland, yes. Okay.
They got to get out of the country somehow. They end up in the strangest of places.
Hey.
He just happened to end up in Ireland.
Jorge Linares is from somewhere in South America and he fights in Japan. So it is what it is. Anyway, this is a very intriguing fight because Mike Perez has a very good pedigree. He's a very good boxer. Not a lot of knockouts, and he's going against a guy who is constantly learning. He gets better every time out. And not only that, but to me, he has, one, the physical advantages. Two, he's just supremely conditioned. This dude, of course, is from Philadelphia, and he is the epitome of a blue-collar type guy. He's going to work until he gets it right, and he's going to keep improving because of that work. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he works in a factory machine,
Like some tire factory or something. He works for, I think, the Philadelphia transportation thing.
Straight up blue collar dude though.
Yeah, it works like repairing buses or something like that. Something crazy.
It's neither here nor there, but that says a lot to his character. Humble guy. I think he's gonna bring the fight to Perez. I think he's gonna outwork him instead of outboxing him. Even though he has shown improvement, I think he has a chance to put him down. Mike Perez didn't look that great in his last fight versus Carlos Takam, where he had a tendency to actually be outworked by Takam and be hit cleanly in spots. So I see Jennings doing the same thing, just at a greater pace and at a higher volume.
Yeah. The good thing about this fight is that both guys are fighting the best guy that they fought so far.
That's right.
And Jennings, the best guy he's fighting in Perez, and vice versa. Perez is a very slick guy. He has very good head movement. He has good punch selection. He might not have a lot of power, but he knows how to hit you hard enough to keep you off of him. We saw that against Abdul Salamov back in, I think that was in December. And then against Takam as well. I mean, he would land some shots and Takam would be like, okay, let me back up a little bit, rethink my strategy. And they ended up having a pretty decent scrap. I do think that Jennings will take over eventually in this fight. I think he's the better all-around boxer. And the style of Jennings is probably going to give Perez problems, seeing as how he really shined against Abdul Salamov, but he didn't look that great against Takam. And it might have been a combination of what happened in the aftermath of the Magomed fight, and it might just be that he really doesn't do well with volume punches or guys who have a little bit of style to him. Because as you know, with Abdul Salamov, he came right forward and was looking to knock him out. And he shined against him, but then when he had somebody in there that was giving him a little bit to think about, he had a little trouble. Jennings is going to give him a lot to think about, so he might be in a little bit of trouble in spots. I don't know if Jennings is going to finish him or not. He does very good work to the body, Jennings. His punch selection has gotten better as he has fought more and more. I don't believe he was like a young amateur type of product. I think he got into the sport late.
He actually became started boxing at the age of 24. He was a football player at one point, so we know he's big, he's strong, but he doesn't quite have that amateur experience that, say, Mike Perez does.
Right. So that could be something that Perez can use to his advantage, but as far as pro experience, they're probably on the same level.
Yeah, I would say so. I do think that as far as fights go, even though Perez is probably Jennings' best fight, he's worked his way up gradually, but the competition has gotten better. And I mean, there are some names that are on his resume that you would recognize.
Yeah, he did beat Lajovic, didn't he?
Yes, he beat Lajovic.
That's probably the best name on his resume. He didn't get him at the best time, but being a former world champ, that's probably the best name on his resume.
And his last fight actually ended
that knockout.
In a knockout, which the guy, who did he fight?
He fought another prospect who was on a roll, had some good knockouts, and I just can't remember his name at the moment.
Yeah, but it was a really good fight. The guy was tough. He gave Jennings some good work, but you see Jennings where he picked the shots and landed very cleanly. Once we think about it, we'll put it in the description below. Sorry, memory has slipped us right now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Jennings by decision. He'll probably pull away as the fight goes on. With the exception of Rigondeaux, we know how those Cuban guys kind of drop off a bit.
Right.
We've seen that with quite a few of them lately. As an example, they should all take notes from Mr. Guillermo Rigondeaux, but we'll talk about that in another video. Let's move on to the main event, which has Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, fighting Daniel Geale for Golovkin's 2 belts. He's got 2 belts, right?
I believe he's got 2 belts now.
Right. And honestly, I think the main question for this one is how long can Geale last before he succumbs to Triple G?
And that's a very good question because Daniel Geale is actually, his record is 30-2, and he doesn't have a lot of knockouts, but he's never not been in a fight. Even the 2 losses that he has to Darren Barker and his first fight with Anthony Modine were both split decisions, which says a lot because you can never count him out of fight. He was losing a fight to Darren Barker. He put him down in, I believe, the 6th round, and really made it a fight. He made Barker fight. And I believe it will be the same. I don't see him putting Triple G down, but they're roughly the same size physically. I just think Triple G is going to be strong. He's a strong guy. He hits with power, and he's very precise. He's not going to have to go find Geale because Gale's going to come forward. He has kind of a high guard. He only throws about 1 or 2 punches at a time, usually to the body or upstairs. He throws around a guard. Golovkin doesn't have great defense, but
it's good enough.
It's good enough, and he has a great chin on him. You can see that in the Stevenson fight. Yeah. And Geale just doesn't have that concussive power like Stevenson did, where he was able to push back Triple G at times. I just think if Geale is to win or even make it interesting, he's got to try to outwork Golovkin and try to take as little damage as possible.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
But he does have a high guard, and he can cover up. What I'm hoping is that he's going to get beat up. He's going to get beat up. When he opens up, that's when I see Golovkin really putting his punches together.
Yeah, Golovkin can punch with his opponent, which is a bad thing for Geale because his hands aren't the fastest. And like Rob said, he doesn't have a lot of power. So if he's going to go in there to try to back Golovkin up, it's going to be with some roughhouse stuff because it won't be with punches. He's probably going to taste those punches. Golovkin's going to be like, all right, I can take him. It's time to go to work.
I think Geale's going to go out on his shield. I'm giving him a lot of credit and saying this goes to the 9th.
Yeah, I mean, he's never been stopped before. He's been in every fight he's been in. But I don't think he's fought anybody as good as Triple G.
No,
he's got some decent names on his resume, but none of those guys are Triple G. So thinking that we're going to see Triple G shine again until we find somebody out there that can give him some trouble, which may not be possible in the middleweight division.
Yeah, I can see him moving up to challenge maybe Andre Ward or anybody else that's in that division. Because the middleweight, I don't see Sergio Martinez jumping in the ring with him. I don't see, definitely don't see Cotto getting in there. Peter Quillen, maybe if he's forced to, but even that's to me slim.
Even if they get him in the ring, it's not going to be pretty for those guys.
Not to mention that most of those guys, Quillen fights on Showtime and Triple G on HBO.
Yeah, so that match probably won't happen. So we're already doing the post fight already before he even beats up on Geale. But you never know. That's why they fight the fights. Geale could come out there and shock the world. So let's hold off on what's next for Triple G until he actually puts away Geale. That's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit us up with your predictions in the comments section. Anything you guys want to talk about, same thing. You can hit us up on Facebook, Capital Combat. Google Plus, same name. You can hit us up in our email, capitalcombat@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is come at a cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighters.